We started with the Finnish people we played with. There was like names that people don't know, like Pykkoa, Bosmare. Who else played back then? We played pretty casually, but they were Dota 1 like professionals kind of thing. Like the very first Finnish people playing Dota 1, like competitively, like actually beating Mouse like once and stuff like this was huge in Finland because it never happened before. And we got into these in-houses. When you play public matchmaking, you're not really talking to these people, like you're not getting into them, and you don't communicate that much. And these in-houses like actually pull strings together. Like there's these people you can relate much easier with, and people it works out, and you know you have this kind of feeling that you're actually doing things together. There was a few people like Era and Sing Sing that it worked out better, and like we felt the kind of synergy between us, and yeah, that's how it all started. I think first thoughts when I went there was like, this is gonna be a waste of time, and how am I able to like proceed to any direction? I didn't apply to university before it, so I had like no backup. I was running out short with my money, and I actually had no plans. I was like very casual about it in the end, because I think I learned a lot there, but at the time when you're there in the military service doing actually like basically nothing, you don't really, I mean basically nothing for yourself. It's for the military service. Like everything you try to do yourself, it's usually gonna fail because that's not how the things work there. And that's like, it's very teaching in a way, and I started to appreciate it like 1 year after that. I became more like, you know, the better me, like listening to other people, and actually not being as lazy, but like actually pushing myself to do things, and like in a own way, like I'm controlling myself way better right now. That gave me the chance to go to Dota 1, Dota 2 after HON, because I decided to quit HON after military service because I felt like I'm gonna be so much behind everybody, and Dota 2 came out the same year, and I felt it was very natural change because now I had the chance to watch these old games, and I was like building this kind of what is good, and how I see people are, and who's actually good in this game, and looking up to them, like because I didn't have time to practice myself, so of course I had to like watch other people, and I had this thoughts of what if it worked out for in Dota 2 as well, like what if I can break through competitive, and you know, it ended up pretty good because I knew Sing Sing, he was switched to Dota 2 already, and they were building up the team, and that's how like I got into Dota 2, and you know, start work. Matumba man was studying as a sea captain in the school, and he only managed to study like one day, and that was the whole idea of the team, like him being the sea captain and the 4 other people like pulling the ship down, kind of thing, kind of a joke, you know. We had these issues that we had a really hard time dealing with, and I think we didn't have this person to like open up the things, and I think it was hard to like approach each other's, and it's very Finnish kind of type of personalities. We don't really like want to open up because, you know, we're waiting somebody else to do it, and then we like it's not as easy to approach other like members of the team in that exact moment when everybody feels pressured, you know, something is not working out, but we just couldn't like open it up. We actually didn't have any arguments that much. That was like maybe we should have. Yeah, it's very healthy to have arguments because then it pulls in the sun's direction, and everybody understands like now things are like this. I feel everybody felt there has to be a change, and somebody had to do it, so I kind of regret it at the same time because Tinker didn't work out, and it was kind of the same mess because several people were like already like the structure of Tinker, and it's very hard to break into that, you know. Once you make a team, it should be like, this is the team, everybody is treated the same way. Okay, there's a captain, let's listen to this captain, he has a good idea, and this is how we approach the game, but that wasn't it. Like it was complicated. It happened in like a week, and I basically had 3 days of gathering up my things and moving to Korea, and it was very interesting times because I wasn't ready for it. Nobody was ready for it. Even my mother is like, he is even more worried than I am, and when you're worried and somebody else is even more worried, and then you start to like kind of question your decision making. But I had already decided, so I just had to like, go and do my thing. I mean, if you don't like spicy food, it's gonna be a problem. Also, like there's very like cultural things in the taste. There's not like traditional European dishes like burgers and spaghetti. Nobody eats this. I didn't see bread in the house a single time until I brought it. I was like, this is bread, have you seen this? And it was like weird because we, like in Finland, everybody eats bread, and everybody's like, if you want a woman, she needs to know how to make a bread, like a good sandwich. And that's like the kind of joke. These Koreans, like, they talk about their students in schools. Maybe like, they might be like 14 years old, but they study every day, 12 hours a day. And it's so high respect for these people, like how do they do it? And the same happened with Dota. Like these guys, they were pulled out from like public matchmaking. Some people like Keen and March, they were like, yeah, these guys are good, and they pulled them to the house because there's no other house like this. And every Dota player in Korea, I bet they would like to be in this house and like competitive, like actually compete on high skill. And if you want to deserve your place there, you need to work hard, and that's like ultimately what they need to do, because their parents are probably telling them to go back to school, you know, back at like 3 years ago. I bet everybody of them has had the same thing, that why don't you study instead of playing video games? Like, what is this gonna bring you? And this is not the way of life, you know. My son has to be like the nerdiest student of entire community and stuff. But for them to decide to play Dota and practice every day, like 8 hours, 10 hours, it's like, I respect it a lot. And of course, when I was brought there, I was very surprised how much they practiced, and I learned a lot from them, like how to keep up like motivation and like do things that you really want, like on a new level. And ice cream is also one of the things. It's just like an inside joke. We just went to get ice cream like 3 times a week in the same place, and there's like the workers there. People were like just joking with them and like called them ice cream girls, and you know, because there wasn't no other girls. There was just ice cream girls and video games. So we're like, you know, trolling. I think what happened to us is that we ended up into this twist that we kind of have right now with Liquid, that when we end up losing a game, we don't really have a quick fix, and we start to like not be as confident with what we usually do, and people lose trust on each other because, you know, things aren't working out. It's very natural. We really believed in what we had, but it just didn't work out there because, you know, we played awkward, and we choked kind of with the Korean team, and it's like a circle, you know. You lose game, you're like, well, let's do this. And you might lose a game again, and then you're like, well, is this any more good? And, you know, then you start to like see these things that people get emotional. It's hard to fix at that moment until you have these break days like we have right now, which is like great, because some teams just need these break days. They really need them to pull themselves together back and, you know, show on the main stage. It's a big thing for us. At TI, we talked with Kuro and Farah like a possible team we might make, because we were kind of interested in each other's way of approaching this game. We knew it's not working out because of us playing individually bad, but it was like the 5 people just didn't come together. So we like decided that maybe making a team together might be a thing, and you know, then we started to progress, like looking for players that we ended up playing with Mind Control and Matumbaman. I think second place is obviously not the thing you want, and that's not the thing you're looking for. Like, we approach these tournaments And we knew like we are capable of winning these tournaments, but at the end of the day, like the finals, we always had like a struggle in some part of how we approached the game. Like the way Secret played in Shanghai was, I think they had a really good idea how to approach us, especially us, and we didn't change because obviously we trusted what we had. Epicenter when we won, I think we were at our highest peak at that point. We like really didn't feel like nothing could stop us, and even losing these games, we didn't care. Like not a single lose we had. Like we always had a very positive mindset towards the next games, and they didn't track us down. We were really strong at that point. I mean, I think in group stage we played too much for winning the game instead of like playing more casual and do the things we usually do, and that I think has ended up into this situation of how to win games actually anymore, because we thought it's gonna work out. This best of one in losers bracket, I think everybody wants to avoid this, because in the end some people might say that, well, it's gonna base on some 5 heroes you have, and what if the other people just out-draft you? There's a high pressure on like just this draft. Like, you know, Dota is much about draft, but more about the play. I don't feel this pressure of getting out of the tournament. I'm more of a disappointed how the group stage went, and I have like this drive to convince myself that whatever happened in group stage is not going to happen again. And I don't believe like in this like, what if we lose this game, we're out of the tournament. I don't believe in this. I think it's not a thing, at least for our team, and we are not afraid. We have been in this position before, and I think it's not going to pressure us. I think it's going to pressure them, if anybody. Our liquid contract is still TI, and then we like consider things, more or less. But right now I'm really confident with my teammates. I don't have any thoughts of like future. I think this is the tournament to focus, and I think that's how you approach. That's whatever happens, happens, and I have no regrets. I just want to do my best for this team, and that's how we started 10 months ago, to just play for this team and not think about anything else.